a very delicious year in store for you with what I like to call our very own limited edition fruit in the form of Cushman's Honeybells. And I mentioned to you earlier, if you were watching your screen and you said, wow, that's a tasty looking orange, and I told you it is not an orange. You just have to wait to see what the fruits are. Alan Cushman himself is here and he's hand squeezing this amazingly delicious, tender, super sweet fruit known as a Honeybell. It is M53749. Yes, sir.
And boy, do I have fun doing this, because juice goes everywhere. And
How are you?
at home, I would never let any of that juice get away.
But this is just to show, unlike a traditional orange that can be very stiff and not actually have a whole lot of juice on the inside, this is a citrus fruit, but it is not an orange. So just before I go through the offer and talk to them about how many pounds we're getting, can you tell us what the fruit is?
Yes. You know, it's really an amazing thing happened. In the late 1800s, they were crossing things and trying to get new varieties and all that. Well, they crossed a Duncan grapefruit and a Dancy tangerine. That's a white grapefruit loaded with seeds, and this is a little old sour tangerine.
Right.
And they did it dozens and dozens of times until one day, hanging on the branch, was this beautiful, perfect-looking bell-shaped fruit. Wow. And you know the way they do that? Back then they took a feather and they took the pollen off of one blossom off the and put it on the pollen on the grapefruit, and then they got to wait to see what happens.
Right, and it took lots and lots of tries of that to get this beautiful Honeybell.
And one day that appeared.
And so what does the taste like?
Woo, my goodness. You know, I've never been able to describe it, and none of our folks that bring these into our homes have ever been able to describe it. They just say it's indescribable.
I can just tell you it is super sweet and super juicy. And so I'm going to step all the way around you, sir, so that way we can understand exactly what we're getting. There is a choice. And this is the item of the month here at QVC, which is no small feat considering how many items we have online. But we really only present these usually the month of January, and that's it. It takes all year to get these in, and then no more Honeybells until next winter. So we have 2 ship dates. You can get this delivered the 9th, which is essentially next week, or you can get this delivered the week of the 16th. It's a buy more, save more. So 1 box will be 7.5 pounds. 2 boxes will be 15 pounds, and you save $10 off of that offer. We're doubling the amount of food that you're getting, but we're not doubling your price. We're taking $10 away from that price because we bundled those 2 boxes together to bring it home to you. And I'll talk about auto delivery in a minute, but I have to tell you, Alan, when I was standing over there, the zesty, citrus, bright, juicy fragrance of this was completely wafting over because of all the sliced fruits.
And guess what happens? This fruit is harvested the day before we ship it. It's never in a warehouse, never in cold storage.
So the warehouse is the grove on the tree.
On the tree, and it's skillfully hand packed in Vero Beach, right near the grove, and shipped right to the door. And I'm going to promise you, when you open the box, you'll find the same thing that Sharon just described.
That's amazing.
This is fresh, sweet flavor, and it'll go all over your kitchen. And
I got to tell you this too. We only debuted this on Sunday. Many times we have a chance to preview or pre-order the Honeybells in December. That did not happen this year. We waited until January to give you the full-size Honeybells that you see here. We've had this on just since Sunday. I think this may only be the 3rd airing, and close to 10,000 have already been ordered just within that time of the past 4 days. He put his bib on. I told him I needed one because I always end up with juice, and I have this sort of shiny blouse from Halston I'm wearing underneath, and I have to protect it. So what are we going to do here?
And these things are no joke.
Oh yeah, they have a pouch on the bottom.
It catches the juice. Folks used to write us way back when I was a boy.
Right.
And say, Cushman, these things are so juicy, you ought to send us fibs. So we did. And we've been doing it ever since.
And I'm so glad. So here's the thing. When you slice open this fruit, what you will see that is different from an orange is that the rind on the outside, the pith, that white layer that you usually see that's really thick on an orange, is very delicate and very thin on a Honeybell.
Well, you know what? Why don't we do a little squeeze off?
Okay, let's do it.
You grab the store-bought orange, which I just cut.
And first of all, can we show this?
Oh, yes.
Look at all of this thick. This is an orange. This is a Honeybell. You can clearly see all that thick white stuff around the inside that you get on an orange. And when I squeeze this, not much happens, but all you need to do is gently squeeze this and a lot of stuff starts to happen. So we're just gonna squeeze by hand. Okay. Oh my gosh, wait, let me turn it this way. I'm squeezing with all of my might. Not only am I getting very little juice out here, because again, this is all like the pulpy membrane on the inside. Look at the color difference between the Honeybell and the orange. Like, there is no comparison.
No. And let me speak just a minute about the color.
Yes.
There's such a difference in the color.
Huge.
You know what the color is here? Natural sweetness.
Really?
Natural sugar.
Okay.
Made by Mother Nature only, and it just doesn't, it's just not here.
It's just not here.
You know, you've picked up oranges at the grocery store and are kind of disappointed in what you got maybe. And
some days you get some good ones, and some days, there's a whole lot of days where you actually get some bad ones. Honeybells are always amazing and juicy and delicious. And we were talking about the crop this year is probably one of the finest you've seen in 5 or 6 years.
Oh.
And we just have to wait. We never know what we're gonna get until Mother Nature delivers it, and it's January, and we find out what's happened throughout the course of the year. But the weather has been great.
you know, you were talking about the way it's juicy, and let me just if we can just come in here and get real close to this.
Right.
And if I can hold my hand steady, they'd like that.
Awesome.
The juice would be running around inside the skin if it wasn't for these tiny little cells, tiny little sacs that hold the juice. And the thing about Honeybells is that little sac is so delicate, and so fragile that it just takes a little bit. And there's a river of juice.
There's a river of juice everywhere. Everywhere.
And do you notice it's running this way? Before we discovered that, I used to have juice all over my
your feet. I know. I was just looking at that saying, wow, we finally learned we needed to put this on an angle so that the juice runs forward instead of back. How many did you say, Frank? 400 people at the very moment are placing their orders, 1,200 gone in this show alone. Do you have one that's sliced where I can have just a little segment or a section?
Yeah.
Because I know lots of people think about the different, can I just grab one from here?
Yeah.
All right, I'll grab one.
Our chef prepared some, so if you take a little knife and just cut it like that, and then cut it like this.
Here, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that to mine. So what do? We're making handles.
We'll make a little handle, and look at there.
Kids love this, by the way. You make these little handles, and then you just pop it right in.
And if you're wearing your bib, the juice will run right down. You know, I gotta tell you, you may be a really very neat person and like things tidy and all.
Right.
And you may not like to have juice running off your chin and down your elbow and onto the table.
It might not be very civilized, but it's really
Honeybells
good.
might not be for you.
Well, you know what I usually do? The way I eat them is I take a grapefruit spoon that has a serrated edge, and I usually take mine and I slice them in half and I just stand over the sink. Like, I'm not even messing around. I am not taking it to the table. I am not sitting down and making this like a formal affair. I've got it in my hand and I'm standing right over the sink, and I just take my time and I take up my little sections and I eat it right there. And at the end, when I'm done with all the sections, somehow there is still a pool of juice left at the bottom. It's literally like a swimming pool at the bottom of that half, and then I squeeze it all out into a little bowl and I drink it.
Well,
that's how I do it. I try to make it last as long as possible.
And we do a lot of squeezing on the set here, just kind of show folks how juicy they are. But Honeybells are for eating. And the best way to eat them is to pop a few in the crisper in your refrigerator.
Get them chilly.
Oh, get them nice and chilly. And when you bring that, oh my goodness.
It's really good.
Oh,
I
wow.
love to have mine chilled, and I need to let you know two ship dates right before we go to the phones, the week of the 9th, which is next week, or the week of the 16th, which is just the week after that. You choose your ship date. If you decide to do auto delivery, you get your shipment this year, the one that you chose, and then in January of next year, you will get another shipment automatically sent to you, so you don't have to try to find Alan or wonder when he's on, it will automatically be sent to you with an email reminder that your shipment is going to be on the way. So you may ask about that. And Mary from New York is going to chat with us. Mary, thank you so much for joining us for Gourmet Holiday. My name is Sharon, but this is Alan Cushman. How are you?
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Sharon and Alan. Oh, you guys, I can smell those oranges in my family room.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I can't wait. I got the early ship date. I've had them before. What he said about it running the juice all over the place, it's true.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Yes, they should put little catches on the bottom of those bibs.
Well, there's just a tiny little shell. That's why I stand over the sink. Like I honestly just stand there.
No, I'm thinking so you can drain it out and then drink it.
So, Mary, let me ask you, can you describe the flavor of Honeybells?
It's indescribable. It is the freshest, most delicious, fragrant. I mean, you can taste the fragrance of these oranges.
Absolutely.
You can't describe them. They're
Absolutely.
just unbelievable.
Well, and sweet. No matter what happens, they are sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yes.
You know, Mary, it takes 9 months to make a Honeybell.
Well, it's worth the wait.
They bloom in March, and it takes the whole year around to January until they're ready.
Well, I'm glad that I was watching the day they were ready.
I am so glad that you were watching
too.
too. Did you go for the 7.5 pound choice or the 15 pound choice?
I just did the 7.5 because I live alone and I didn't want them to spoil.
Okay. Okay, that's perfectly fair. So when you get these home, do you put them in the crisper or put them in the fridge?
Well, I can keep them in the garage because I live in the in New York State, and you know how cold it is there.
It is.
But yeah, I do put some in the crisper, but they're so good. They don't. You know, I want them right away.
Well, I'm so glad we're going to be able to get them to you. So you keep on the lookout for that box next week, okay?
Oh, don't worry, I will.
Thank you, Mary. You have a wonderful
Happy New
day.
Year, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mary.
Happy New Year to you too.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Mary went for that 7.5 pound choice because she said she lives alone. But if you've got any extra people in the house, I would try to go for that 15 pound because it's not like next month you can come back, or 3 months or 6 months from now come back and get more. We do this one basic month here in the beginning of the year. I think once maybe we had a show in February, but the fact is the harvest is once a year. So what we have here is going to be amazing for you at either $34 for the 7.5 pound box or $58. So we doubled the amount you're getting home, but we didn't double the price. We took $10 away from that price because you bundled them together, but your shipping is free. If you just tuned in and you said, wait a minute, I'm confused. Is that an orange? No, it's not. It's a Honeybell. We'll be talking about this more at the end of the show. So Alan, we look forward to seeing you come back.
Okay.
More delicious things are on your way in this gourmet holiday, and the shrimp is one of them. It is a one-day only value that we have in the show for you, where the price